I don't think anyone is held more accountable for their missteps in life than a single mom. Like, how can she not? You're gonna have to take care of that child for the rest of its life.
Right, when they say like, okay, why you had those kids with that man he won't marry you? I'm like, shit, I don't know why I had these damn kids. I was in love. Shit, I was 19. I was in college. Baby, we was in love. Baby, he was good. We were good.
Oh, that Mississippi. I thought Alabama, baby, but
baby, I just had these kids.
Coming
And
out.
that's all I can say, baby. What you want me to do?
like, listen, you should not be giving him the most precious thing that you have without him giving you at least his hand in marriage. Like,
She set a standard for herself and she stuck to that standard. So for guys, they kind of know that they can't come short as relates to the standard. So with a single mom that maybe has one child, I could understand. I could say like, okay, that one time she had a child out of wedlock, she didn't stick to the standard. But if you have maybe two, three now, I could understand why a guy would say, you have two, three kids out of wedlock. You didn't stick to those standards. Why now do you expect me to come and not, why now do you expect me to come and you want to make these changes? Not that I agree with that either, because when we're allowed to change and evolve and grow, which is why I hate when guys say like, oh, whatever he did, you let him get away with that foolishness. Why? You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Right.
But
So are you supposed to stay in your dirt? Right.
right. Expect you to roll in that shit for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
And
I-
that's what
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, right? Is like this rhetoric of holding people to their past. Now, I don't want to mince my words with this. I think that the past can be informative, right? Especially when you're getting to know someone, you're vetting them, you're going through the process and all of that stuff. But to hold people's past against them is to say that like you are not capable of growing. You're not capable of wanting more out of life. And I understand like if the responsibility is not something that you want, you don't want to take on three children that don't belong to you, then just go ahead and say that. But to say that you as a woman are no longer allowed to desire that, I think that's wild. Like I think people should just own their own stuff and say, I'm willing to put up with this, I'm not, this is my preference, this is not. But to say like, okay, you finally learned from your mistakes and I'm not going to allow you to continue to learn from your mistakes, like you just have to forever pay for your mistakes. I think that rhetoric can be not only disheartening but a little bit dangerous too.
I agree, but the truth of the matter is that is kind of the way the world works. You don't want it to, but think about men who were in prison. They served their time to society, but once they get out, that stigma is still there. They're going to have a difficult time finding a job. They're going to have a difficult time sometimes finding a relationship. Once somebody find out what their, criminal history is. So unfortunately, this is kind of the same situation. Like, even though you grow and you learn, the issue is that some people are not going to let it go. And of course, those are the people you don't want in your space anyway. So, but unfortunately, yeah, when you're vetting, when you're trying to figure out if this is somebody that I want to deal with, if this is somebody that I want to take on this additional responsibility for, they're going to have to consider all of those things. But unfortunately, there are some mistakes just in general. I used to tell my kids all the time that yes, you're going to make mistakes, but there are going to be some mistakes that are going to be lifelong lessons that you can't turn back, you can't change. It is what it is, and you're going to have to just learn to adapt and deal with it. And unfortunately, some mistakes make you miss out on opportunities, certain opportunities.
But that's what gets me with this whole holding people accountable thing. I don't think anyone is held more accountable for their missteps in life than a single mom. Like, how can she not? You're gonna have to take care of that child for the rest of its life.
Right, when they say like, okay, why you had those kids with that man he won't marry you? I'm like, shit, I don't know why I had these damn kids. I was in love. Shit, I was 19. I was in college. Baby, we was in love. Baby, he was good. We were good.
Oh, that Mississippi. I thought Alabama, baby. But
baby, I just had these kids. And that's all I can say, baby. What you want me to do? But the thing about it is,
I felt like I'm taking care of you. What's to you? Because I'm accountable by having to do this shit on my own. So.
Right, and I tell a man all the time, like, bro, if we was to be you big daddy, baby, we trying to love you. Hey, we trying to buy you Father's Day gift shit. We trying to buy you cars. I don't care if you have a child or not. Hell, let's blend this shit. I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to take out the trash.
You guys are hilarious. But okay, so and I'm in that situation too. I too am a single mom. But I want to make so being that the name of the show is The Solution. We can always give our input from the experiences that we've had. I think that the best thing about going through a lesson is you're able to teach others to not do the same thing you did so that they can be better, and so we know that being a single mom is hard work. It is hard work, especially if you do it right. It's the most selfless thing you can ever do in life. And so I just want it to be, for me, when I'm talking to a younger generation of kids, women, I would say to set those standards. The goal is to set those standards and understand, like, listen, you should not be giving him the most precious thing that you have without him giving you at least his hand in marriage. Like, what are we doing here? That should be first and foremost if we're trying to find a solution to a problem, And no cohabit, like, I get it. We can sit here and play house all day, but when the kids are involved, that's a different level of something. If we want to talk about kids, let's talk about marriage first.
Right. Yes.
Marriage comes first, and it's got to be more than just the ring. I need to see the priest, the legal, everything that goes involved with that.
Yeah, I would agree as well. And especially, I'll speak just from my experience and me being in the younger generation and just listening to you ladies speak. I actually I did go through the process of just like giving birth and things of that nature. And I would have considered myself a single mom because as far as even doctor's appointments and things of that nature and small things that I needed, while I was carrying, I was doing, on my own or with that village of my mom and my sisters and things of that nature. So it's just like, if I would have known that, then I would have definitely, I would have gone a different route, and I would have, just held myself, to a higher standard, and just waited, because that's something that I've always said. Like, I want to wait, until I'm married and until I know that I'll be, fully supported by my partner, to go through that, because that is, that's life changing, to have a baby and, the emotions and everything like that. It takes a toll on you. So I would definitely have to agree.
Yeah, and like you said, what we would say to the younger, generation, to young ladies, like, don't be like me. Don't fall in love in college and think that man is for you. This is not a Netflix film. And another thing I want to say is, if you and we would love for our young ladies to get the ring and to do things and learn from our mistakes, but I really want ladies to understand when, like Miss T said, with accountability. If you end up pregnant or you end up having these one night stands and you laying up with these little boys or whatever, and you text him and you tell him that, look, hey, I'm pregnant. However that response goes, and if you decide to keep that baby, just understand that that's going to be the beginning of your life from that point on.